Hi everyone, my name is Lauren. I work for High Horizons and I've got a really short slideshow today just to take you through my student journey about when I was a university student. I started university back in 2011 and the university I decided to go to was the University of York. There were quite a few reasons that I chose to go here. So I knew I wanted a campus-based university, which meant that everything was in one place. From where I lived, to the shops, to the lectures that I had to attend, nothing was more than a 15-minute walk, which was really good. It was also great being right next to the city of York, so although the university was just outside, it was only about a 10-minute walk to get into the city centre, so we could go out for food, do shopping and not have to travel too far. I also wanted to move away from home, so York was about 2.5 hours away, which was good for me, meant I could grow up, become independent, but should there be any issues, it was only 2.5 hours to get back home. So on the weekends, if I needed to, I could easily book a train home and get back as well. Before going to university, I had lots of mixed feelings, just like all of my friends. I was quite anxious because I was going into the unknown. I didn't know exactly what to expect, which was quite scary. I was also impatient. I'd had a really long summer between finishing my A-levels and starting university, and I was the last of my friends to start as well because the York term starts really late in the year. If this is you and you've got a long summer, try getting some volunteering or a part-time job just to use your time productively. I was super excited. I was going to be living in a new place. I was going to become independent. I was going to meet new people. I was going to grow as a person. So those feelings were quite positive, as well as having some of the more negative emotions. I was definitely really proud because I'd worked hard to achieve my A-level results. I'd also worked hard on my university application, which you have to do through the website UCAS. I'd worked really hard on my personal statement that you have to write to the universities persuading them to give you a place. So all my work paid off, and it was a good moment when I could start university. Lastly, I was a bit apprehensive. I didn't get my first choice of university accommodation, so I wasn't sure whether I would like it. And I was also really worried about making new friends. A lot of my friends I'd known since primary school, and leaving them was a little bit scary. But when I got to university, everything was absolutely fine. Everyone was in the same boat, and we all ended up having a really good time. The degree that I decided to study was psychology, and it was a BSc degree. That just stands for Bachelor of Science, and it's a type of degree. There are lots of different kinds, like a BA, a Bachelor of the Arts, and a BEng, Bachelor of Engineering, along with many others, and BSc is just one of those. There are lots of reasons I decided to study this. I really enjoyed it at A-level. It was my favourite subject. I was really interested in the real-world applications of the subject, so why we behave and think like we do in some situations. I really liked the research focus at York. There was lots of different research going on in various areas of psychology, and they had really good facilities. And I was also really keen on the career prospects that I could go into. So there were vocational careers such as educational psychology, clinical psychology, forensic psychology, the list goes on. And there were other careers as well, such as teaching, which I went into. There were various teaching methods during this course, one of which was a lecture. You can see a lecture theatre in that top right hand corner there, and that's where one lecturer or one teacher stands at the front and presents to the whole course. You also had much smaller sessions called tutorials, where 10 to 15 of you would get together with a PhD student or an academic member of staff and discuss some reading or research that you had been set. It's important to remember that when you're at university, it's not like school. You're not being taught from 9 AM to 3 PM. Your hours vary each week. So in my first and second year, I had 12 hours contact time a week. That meant 12 hours where I was being taught. And in my third year, it went right down to 4 hours. So there was quite a lot of time to get that reading and research in. And there are lots of different ways in which I was assessed as well. So there are assignments, small group presentations, and different kinds of exams. It's important to look at the way you're assessed when you decide which university you want to go to. If you don't like a lot of exams and a lot of essays, find out which universities and which courses don't ask you to do those. It's really important to have a look into that before you go to university. University isn't just about your academic life and your work, it's also about the friends that you make in your social life. I made loads of friends just in my accommodation blocks with the people that I lived with. I was also good friends with some people on my course, and I was friends with people who are involved in societies the same as me. So every university has a students' union, and this is run by the students for the students. It represents student voice, and it also offers lots of societies and sports that you can join. Some of these you'll have heard of, like football, rugby, drama, dance, but there's also some quite weird and wonderful ones such as Quidditch as well that you can try. I got involved with a few at my time at university. I did dancing, and that was something that I'd done before, but I also tried cheerleading out as well, which I absolutely loved. And cheerleading also meant that I got to travel around the country competing against other teams, which was really, really great fun. I got to see different parts of the country. We got to win a few trophies. A really, really good experience, okay? So when you go to university, I would definitely recommend going to the Freshers' Fair in the first week, going and seeing what societies are there, what sports are played, and just get some information about them. You won't be able to join all of them because there is not enough time at university, but it's a really great and cheap way to make friends, learn some skills, and a good way to spend your spare time as well, because like I mentioned in the last slide, you don't have as much teaching time or contact time at university. So it's a good way, obviously get your work done, but it's another good way to spend time socialising and making friends too. Going to university gave me so many opportunities that I was able to access that I would not have been able to had I not gone. So in my first year, the psychology department had a link to a mental health charity that enabled me to fly over to India and volunteer in a psychiatric hospital for 4 weeks. This was an amazing and very scary experience, but it allowed me to see psychology in action and how it's actually used in the real world, as well as giving me that bit more independence again, a bit more world experience. I'd never been on a plane on my own before, I'd never been out of Europe before, so it was a really big experience, but it was really great and something that I can put on my CV in the future. I also secured a 6-week research position with the psychology department in my second year as well, which was also great because I got to see how research is carried out firsthand full time, and I also got to know a lot more people in the psychology department. So university does give you these work experience opportunities and volunteering opportunities. If you want, you can also take a sandwich degree, and that means that you get a year out to work full-time and get paid full-time as well. So if you really like the sound of work experience when you're looking for your degree, you might want to check out some sandwich degrees as well. University has benefited me in so many different ways. First and foremost, I achieved a 2-1 degree, which looks good on my CV and job applications. A lot of employers now are just looking for you to have a degree. I also developed lots of transferable skills. I learned time management, I learned how to be organised, I learned how to communicate, how to present, I learned how to use different software on the computer. I also learned when I needed help and when I needed to ask for support, which has been really useful in my employment. I've already spoken about it, but I made lots of new friends who I'm still friends with today. We still meet up regularly. I also gained life skills. These are things like budgeting, how to cook for myself, how to do my own washing, something that my mum had always done for me previously and then I had to learn to do on my own. It allowed me to become so much more confident and independent through the work experience that I did, through the travelling that I did. I just had to become my own person, which has really helped me since leaving university. And finally, all of the above has helped me secure jobs since graduating. So when I left university, I became a teacher, and since then I've moved on to work for Higher Horizons Plus. And all those skills that I developed, all that work experience were on those job applications and were on my CV that I sent off to help me get these jobs. So university was really, really important in me getting jobs after graduation. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation today. I hope you found out some new things about university. If it's left you with any questions or you want to find out more, just head over to www.higherhorizons.co.uk/ask and you can chat to me or any of my other colleagues from Higher Horizons and they'll try and answer your questions as best they can. Please do also have a go at the crossword that comes with this presentation. Again, if you're struggling with any of the answers, just get in touch.